In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. Now let's talk about Adam and Eve. Their story is one of the most well-known tales in the Bible, and it all starts in a beautiful garden called Eden. God made Adam first, from the dust of the ground. Imagine that, being formed from the very earth itself, a miraculous creation. Can you imagine 1 minute you're dust, the next you're a man living in paradise? Adam had it all, a perfect place to live, surrounded by nature's beauty. But Adam was lonely, so God put him to sleep, took one of his ribs, and fashioned Eve. This was the first surgery ever performed, and it was a divine one. Eve was created to be Adam's companion, and together they were the first couple in history. God gave them this amazing garden called Eden. It was a paradise on earth, filled with everything they could ever need. It was like an all-you-can-eat buffet with every kind of fruit imaginable. They had access to the best of nature's bounty, a true feast for the senses. But there was one rule: don't eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. This tree stood out among the rest, a symbol of temptation and forbidden knowledge. Now, why would you even want to eat from a tree with that name? Sounds suspicious to me. It was a clear warning, but curiosity can be a powerful force. Well, that sneaky serpent, Satan in disguise, he slithered up to Eve and started talking. He was the ultimate deceiver, using his cunning to mislead. He told her that if she ate the fruit, she'd be like God, knowing good and evil. The promise of wisdom and power was too tempting to resist. Eve, bless her heart, she fell for it. She took a bite of the forbidden fruit, and in that moment, everything changed. She took a bite, gave some to Adam, and next thing you know, they're both hiding in the bushes, feeling ashamed. They realized their mistake, but it was too late. Their disobedience led to a loss of innocence, and they were cast out of the garden, forever changing the course of human history. As they left Eden, they faced a new reality, one filled with hardship and toil. The garden party was over, and life would never be the same. They had to work the land, endure pain, and face the consequences of their actions. It was a tough lesson, but one that shaped the future of mankind. So the next time you're at a garden party, remember Adam and Eve. Their story is a reminder of the importance of choices and the impact they can have on our lives. Gardens can be places of beauty and tranquility, but they also hold the potential for temptation and challenge. It's up to us to navigate them wisely. Just like Adam and Eve, we all face choices that can lead us down different paths. It's important to stay mindful and make decisions that align with our values. In the end, the story of Adam and Eve is about more than just a garden party gone wrong. It's a tale of love, temptation, and the human experience. Let's learn from their story and strive to make better choices in our own lives. Now fast forward a few chapters, and things ain't looking so good. The skies were dark and ominous, a sign of the turmoil below. The world was filled with wickedness. People were lost in their own selfish desires, ignoring the cries for help from their neighbors. People were doing all sorts of messed up stuff. God saw the earth, and it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. God decided to bring a flood upon the earth to destroy all flesh, in which is the breath of life under heaven. Everything that is on the earth shall perish. But there was one righteous man left, Noah, a man of integrity and faith who walked with God. God told Noah to build an ark, a gigantic boat. This was no small task. It was a monumental project. And not just any boat, mind you. This ark had to be sturdy enough to withstand the greatest storm the world had ever seen. It had to have rooms for Noah, his family, and 2 of every kind of animal on earth. Imagine the planning and precision required. Can you imagine trying to wrangle all those critters? It was a logistical challenge, but Noah had faith. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my. The diversity of life was astounding. It would be like herding cats, monkeys, and elephants all at once. The chaos was unimaginable, yet Noah persevered. So, Noah built the ark, gathered up his family and the animals, and then the rain started. The first drops were a prelude to the deluge. And I ain't talking about no drizzle, folks. This was a downpour. The heavens opened up, and the waters poured down relentlessly. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights, flooding the entire world. The waters rose higher and higher, covering everything in their path. Everything was covered in water. Cities, forests, mountains, all submerged beneath the relentless waves. But Noah and his crew, they were safe and sound on the ark, riding out the storm. The ark was their sanctuary amidst the chaos. Now that's what I call faith. Through it all, Noah and his family held on to their belief, trusting that they would see the light again. And after the storm, God made a covenant with Noah. A rainbow appeared in the sky, a symbol of God's promise that never again would a flood destroy the earth. As the waters receded, Noah, his family, and all the animals stepped onto dry land, ready to start anew. The journey had been long and arduous, but their faith had carried them through. The earth was reborn, vibrant and full of life. It was a testament to the power of faith and the promise of new beginnings. Noah and his family began to rebuild, planting seeds for the future. They knew that with faith and hard work, they could create a better world. And so, they did. The community came together, working in harmony to build a new life. It was a fresh start, a chance to do things right. As the sun set over the peaceful landscape, Noah looked out with hope and gratitude. The wildest cruise in history had come to an end, but the journey of faith and renewal had just begun. Section 4, Abraham, the OG Globetrotter. Following the GPS of faith. After the floodwaters receded, God made a covenant with Noah, promising never to destroy the world with a flood again. Then we meet Abraham, a man chosen by God to be the father of a great nation. God told Abraham to leave his home and travel to a new land, a land that he would show him. Now Abraham didn't have Google Maps or nothing, but he trusted God. He packed up his family, his belongings, and his flocks, and set off on a journey of faith. Talk about a leap of faith. Abraham left Haran and traveled to Canaan as God had instructed. Along the way, Abraham faced all sorts of challenges. He had to deal with famine, conflicts, and even the temptation to doubt God's promises. But through it all, Abraham remained faithful. He's like the OG Globetrotter, following the GPS of faith even when the signal was weak. Section 5. Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, and those jealous brothers. Now let's talk about Joseph, one of Abraham's great-grandsons. Joseph was the 11th son of Jacob, also known as Israel, and he was born to Jacob's beloved wife, Rachel. This made Joseph very special in his father's eyes, and Jacob didn't hide his favoritism. Jacob gave Joseph a special coat of many colors, a symbol of his deep affection and favoritism. This coat wasn't just any garment, it was a luxurious piece that set Joseph apart from his brothers. Joseph had dreams that hinted at his future rise to power. In one dream, he saw himself and his brothers binding sheaves of grain in the field. Suddenly, his sheaf stood upright while his brothers' sheaves gathered around and bowed down to it. In another dream, the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowed down to him. These dreams suggested that Joseph would one day rule over his family. But his brothers were jealous and couldn't stand the idea of their younger brother being favored and having such grand dreams. Their jealousy turned into hatred, and they plotted against him. They sold him into slavery, tore up his coat, and told their father a wild animal had killed him. They dipped the coat in goat's blood and presented it to Jacob, who was devastated, believing his beloved son was dead. Joseph was taken to Egypt and sold to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. Despite his circumstances, Joseph remained faithful to God and worked diligently, earning Potiphar's trust. Joseph's faith and dedication didn't go unnoticed. Potiphar put him in charge of his entire household, and everything Joseph touched seemed to prosper. However, Joseph faced false accusations from Potiphar's wife and was imprisoned. Even in prison, Joseph's integrity and ability to interpret dreams brought him to the attention of Pharaoh. He interpreted Pharaoh's dreams, predicting 7 years of plenty followed by 7 years of famine, and was appointed to oversee the land's preparations. When the famine struck, Joseph's brothers came to Egypt seeking food. They didn't recognize Joseph, but he recognized them. After testing their character, Joseph revealed his identity and forgave them, inviting the entire family to live in Egypt. Joseph's ability to forgive his brothers and see the bigger picture is truly inspiring. He understood that his hardships were part of a divine plan to save many lives. Joseph's story is a reminder that even when life throws you curveballs, God can still work everything out for good. His journey from a favored son to a slave and then to a ruler shows that perseverance and faith can lead to incredible outcomes. It's a message of hope, forgiveness, and the power of faith to overcome any obstacle. Joseph's life teaches us that no matter how dire the circumstances, maintaining faith and integrity can lead to redemption and success. And hey, you gotta admit, that Technicolor Dreamcoat is pretty fly. It's not just a symbol of favoritism, but also a testament to Joseph's unique journey and the extraordinary life he led. So there you have it, folks. Genesis in a nutshell. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and empty, darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. God created the sky, the land, and the seas. He made plants and trees, the sun, moon, and stars, and filled the waters with living creatures and the sky with birds. Then God made the animals, and finally, he created mankind in his own image. He created them male and female, blessed them, and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it." By the seventh day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested from all his work. God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. So next time you're feeling down, crack open your Bible to Genesis and get ready to be inspired. It's the greatest story ever told, full of laughs, tears, and a whole lot of faith. And hey, if those folks back then could handle it, we can too, right?